Hey, good morning, y'all, and happy Jank Day. It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, representing Team King of Games all day, every day. I apologize if you haven't heard from me in a few days. I've been really sick. I recovered, but like it wasn't to the point where a brother couldn't move or nothing. I just really wasn't feeling it. If you get what I'm saying, my energy wasn't up, and I felt like it was pointless to make videos if I wasn't gonna have the enthusiasm that I normally have in my videos, because that's kind of lame. Making a video boring, nobody wants to watch that. But anyways. We're trying to kick back up the Jank thing going, and basically we had this thing going with where we would build decks out of scraps and kind of just make it work. And we created our own ban list for this Jank Day. If y'all don't know about that, it's a video that's literally called "We Created Our Own Ban List." Look it up; it's on my channel, and you guys will understand a lot of cards that are good are banned, and a lot of cards that aren't too bad, we took them off the list. So this is my Jank deck that has not took a single L. It has not lost since I built it. So it was able to keep itself up. The ruling that I put up, one of the basic rules was if your Jank deck loses, you have to tear it down and rebuild something else. So that's kind of like what keeps the creative juices flowing. But when your Jank deck keeps winning, you just keep it up and keep upgrading it. Slowly but surely, it'll become an actual deck that you can play. But yeah, it's basically just to get the creative juices flowing, to take you back to the roots of Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's just all about being creative and having fun and enjoying yourself, and not sacrificing fun and so much money out of your wallet just to win. That's kind of unhealthy sometimes. We're gonna hop into the main deck. This is an Orbital Fiend deck. It's just a Fiend deck that runs Orbital Hydrolander, plain and simple. So for monsters, I play 2 Orbital Hydrolander, as I explained in the beginning. So basically the main point of this deck is kind of to get this guy out. You're trying to get to Orbital Hydrolander as fast as possible, because I wanted a main deck boss monster that lets me play on my opponent's turn. I wanted this deck to still be competitive, even though all the competitive cards are banned. There's no strikes, there's no Raigeki, there's no evenly matched, there's like no hand traps, there's no ashes available, no ogres, no drolls, no Psyframe, Gamma, none of that. It's all banned. Like, all the good cards are banned. All the broken boss monsters like Masterpiece, Cyber Dragon Infinity, etc., they're banned. Just watch the video where it's, we created our own ban list. So this is the closest thing I can get to like a broken boss monster. So Hydrolander was just a really smart choice for me. So I built my deck catered to playing around Orbital. Not playing around, but playing according to how he works. So you don't play 3 of any monster. And because you're playing certain techs in your main deck, you can manipulate your graveyard like a boss. So that you can always have this guy's effect being live, and you're always live to summon him. And then next up, I played 2 Grapha, Dragon Lord of the Dark World. And I played 2 Archfiend Emperor, the first Lord of Horror. In addition to that, I play 1 Dark Arm Dragon and 1 Darkness Neosphere. These are my boss monsters. So this deck is more of a main deck than it is anything else. It doesn't really need the extra deck. These monsters get the job done. So Grapha pops cards, Hydrolander pop cards, Dark Arm Dragon pops cards, Archfiend Emperor the First Lord of 4 pops cards. Neosphere is just a 4,000 beater that can summon himself in the battle phase if need be so. So I like Neosphere. It's like one of those techie cards. It reminds me of Yugioh. I'm not sure if it is Yugioh. I'm not saying that it is, but it kind of looks like Yugioh. So it was like an old school thing to me. It just brought me back to the GX days. Archfiend Emperor basically summons himself without tributing. He can banish the Archfiend card to destroy a card on the field. We all know what Dark Arm Dragon does. You should know what Orbital does, but I'll explain him. And I should not have to explain Grapha. Grapha's way too old. But Orbital Hydrolander, basically you can special summon him by having 5 monsters, 5 or more with different names in your graveyard, but none with the same name. Then he can mill 3 cards from the top of your deck, which actually helps you to progress your game state. And then if he does mill 3, and there's still no monsters with the same name, he destroys a card on the field. And it's a quick effect. So he's kind of like a masterpiece in the sense. Well, he literally is like a masterpiece. He does the same thing, except he mills instead of banishing continuous spells or traps. He's a 3k beater, and he special summons himself relatively with ease. So those are the 2, 4, 6, 8 boss monsters of my deck. They all get themselves out relatively easy. He can normal summon himself without tributing. You can special him off of Palabyrinth, the Archfiend field spell. He can special summon himself simply by normal summoning a Dark World monster, bouncing it to hand, summon him. Neosphere special summons herself with her own effect. Dark Arm Dragon special summons himself, easy to manipulate your grave. And Hydrolander special summons himself. So they're easy to get out. If you open up with a way to, not open up with the way, but if you set yourself up to make these you can drop multiples of them on the field, and that can get you game if they're able to clear the board for you. And that's going to sum up the boss monsters. Now moving forward to the regular monsters, I'm going to drop these down and then explain it later. 2 copies of the Barrier Statue of the Abyss. And then we have 2 copies of Snow Unlight of the Dark World. Then we have 2 copies of Trance Archfiend. 2 copies of Stygian Street Patrol. 1 Snipe Hunter. That's it for the level 4s. Then we have 2 copies of Fiendish Rhino Warrior. 2 copies of Skarm, the Malbrancer of the Burning Abyss. 2 copies of Brow, the Huntsman of the Dark World. Then we have 1 Tour Guide, 1 Tour Bus, 1 Archfiend's Heiress, 1 Graph, 1 Seer, and also 1 Fabled Raven. As you can see, like I said in the beginning, it's literally just a Fiend deck. So what I did was I just looked around and I was like, what are the best Fiend decks that I have? I love you, baby.
I love you too.
I was like, what are the best Fiend monsters that I have at Axis? So I was like, I love Archfiends. You guys should check out my Archfiend deck profiles I have on this channel. They're pretty cool. I love Archfiends. I was like, I love Burning Abyss. I like Fables, but I don't want to play too many Fabled cards. Then I was like, ooh, I like Dark Worlds too. Then I was like, oh my goodness. I like Orbital Hydrolander. Then I was like, Barrier Statue of the Abyss makes a lot of sense because all my monsters are dark. So basically, this is self-explanatory. Locking your opponent out. These are just to thin through your deck to draw more. They're Ties of the Brethren targets. Fabled Raven just can resolve so many effects at once. He can just downright get you game. And after that, you can Synchro Summon for whatever you want. And Stygian Street Patrol extends your place. He can special summon the Fiend with 2,000 or less attack from your hand by banishing himself from the graveyard, which also modulates your graveyard. He's one of the best mills because you can just summon the Barrier Statue right from your hand. And you can also search any level 4 dark monster with the spell known as Creeping Darkness. It's a really old school spell that doesn't see any competitive play whatsoever to this day. Graph and Seer explain themselves. Skarm kind of explains herself. Fiendish Rhino Warrior helps a lot. Even when you open up with him in like just 1 BA, you can actually summon him. And then Archfiend Emperor, when he summons himself without tributing, he destroys himself during the end phase. But if you have Fiendish Rhino Warrior, he won't die. And you basically have this big beat stick who can destroy cards on the field, which is really, really nice. Tour Guide is here because she's Tour Guide. You have a lot of targets. Tour Bus is here to put Tour Guide back into your deck so you can search her for the second time off of Skarm, which is really useful. So you can resolve Tour Guide twice. Trans Archfiend basically adds any banished dark monster from your banished zone to your hand, which recycles a lot because you banish so much with this deck. So I pretty much explained all of these monsters here. They all serve multiple purposes, and it's really nice. This deck's real consistent too. Believe it or not, it's a 60-card deck. And I actually decked out turn 2, I believe it was. It's either turn 2 or turn 3. I literally decked out in a 60-card deck without playing Grass Looks Greener, without playing any Lightsworn engines, just straight up pure consistency, drawing, searching. Next up for the spells, which is the Juice and Berries of the deck. We play 3 Ties of the Brethren. This spell is retarded if you resolve it. Targeting any of your level 4s, you're going to get out Barrier Statue. And then if not, you're just using your level 3 Seer advantage. Then 3 Gates of the Dark World. This helps you a lot to deck in and also to fix your grave for your Orbital Hydrolander. If you have, for example, 2 of your Snows or 2 of your Brows or, like 2 of your Archfiend Emperors. If you have 2 of anything, you can banish 1 copy of it for Gates, discard, draw, and then special summon your Orbital Hydrolander. So it serves multiple purposes, not only drawing, but fixing your graveyard for Dark Arm Dragon, and also your Orbital Hydrolander. And I'm sorry, I know that sounds really nasty. I told you guys I'm sick. I'm just kind of recovering. And then 1 Archfiend Palabrant, just as an extender, it really does help out a lot because it just literally special summons your Archfiend Emperor flat out. And then you have double Emperor, you pop 2 and attack for, I believe it's 7,000 because 35 plus 35, which is really nice. And then to complement these field spells, I played 3 Terraformings for the 4 targets. So yeah, I guess I'll just slap Palabrant on top of the Terraforming. Yes, babe?
You want cheese or not?
Yeah, I want cheese. And then 2 Magical Contractor. This is basic, huh?
1 or 2.
Oh, wait, what are you making?
Sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, 2 sandwiches. Thank you, baby. Sorry, yeah, that's my girl. And then, so this spell basically, it's really dope. It's how I search my Orbital Hydrolander. It's how I search my Grapha. It's how I search my Archfiend Emperor if need be so. And you can also make trade-in live with this card because I play 2 trade-ins. You basically put one spell from your hand to your opponent's hand, and then add one level 7 or level 8 dark monster from your deck to your hand. So you can also search your Dark Arm Dragon, which is pretty important because Dark Arm Dragon's at 1 on the ban list. We didn't even put it at 3 on our Jank ban list because I just forgot about it. I was like, why not put Dark Arm Dragon at 3 for the Jank format, but then I forgot. So yeah, this serves a lot of purposes for the deck, so it's really, really amazing. And sometimes you have spells that, you know, really wouldn't be beneficial to your opponent. For example, that Dead Ties of the Brethren, and you know your opponent doesn't play, like, you know, the same types and same levels. You give them this Dead spell, which I guess they just have it just to have it, and then you get to search for free, which is really, really cool. Well, not for free, you pay the cost, of course, but I like it nonetheless. I just want to dig deeper and also get closer and closer to my Orbital Hydrolander. So, like, this was an extender. I couldn't find the third copy of it because I would have been playing 3. It's really, really that good to me. And then 2 copies of Creeping Darkness. This searches for any level 4 dark monster directly from your deck to your hand by banishing 2 dark monsters. So you get to fix your graveyard for Orbital and for Dark Arm Dragon, and at the same time get a search for Barrier Statue, Stygian. You can search for Trance Archfiend, whatever you want basically. Even Snow of the Dark World. And then, you know, resolve her with Gates and then search again after you draw, which is real consistent. And next up for the draw power, that was all the search power. Well, Gates isn't a searcher, it's draw power, but these are all your searchers. And then next up for draw power, we play 3 copies of Dark World Dealings. This is just such an annoying spell. I like it a lot. It's annoying for your opponent, but sometimes it can help them. But this spell is just horrible for your opponent. This is like a Mind Crush in a spell version. So each player reveals their hand, discards a card from each other's hands, and then we both draw a card. It basically lets you know what you're playing against when you're going first and you open up with this spell. Drag Down to the Grave is so annoying. It's one of the reasons why people hate Dark Worlds, because they abuse this spell so relatively easy. For the most part, almost every one of my monsters serves a purpose in the graveyard. So if I set my good spells and just activate this, having 1 card in my hand, for example, like Fiendish Rhino Warrior, it's like, oh my god, this is the 1 card in my hand. Thank you for the effect, and thank you for letting me know what you have. So it's really, really cool. Then you draw after that. And then 3 copies of Allure Darkness. Almost every single monster except for Fiendish Rhino Warrior and Fabled Raven are all darks. There's no reason to not play this card. It's more draw power. There's a lot of draw power that this deck provides. I really needed every single draw card that I can get because this is a 60 card deck, and I was like, you know what, I need it decked in as quickly as possible. Yeah, it's 60 cards because there's so many engines. And then we also have 3 copies of Pot of Desires. It's a 60 card deck. It just makes it makes sense. Like, you need to thin your deck as quickly as possible. There's relatively no 1-ofs. Even though you play 2-ofs, you do play the chance of banishing all of 1 card. Nonetheless, the deck has so many engines that there's nothing that you actually would lose that would cause you to lose the game. You can win in so many different ways. There's like no straight up standalone win condition of the deck. Orbital Hydrolander is not even a win condition. He's just a way to play on your opponent's turn. And we also played 2 copies of Pot of Greed. I wish I had 3. This is taken off of the ban list for our Jank Day. Remember, I told you we created our own format and our own ban list, and we took Pot of the Greed off of the ban list completely. We were like, since we're banning so many broken cards, let's take Pot of Greed off the ban list and play it because we want to have fun. And then 2 copies of Trade-In and also 1 Foolish Burial for the utility purposes. That's going to go ahead and sum up the main deck. As you can see, it's really, really consistent. And if you want to see it in action, we already have a duel posted with it. 2 duels, in fact. One is my Fiend deck versus my teammate Marco's Parry Knights deck. He made a deck based on Parry Knights. It's so dope. And then another one's me versus Ed and his Spellcasters. For the extra deck, we play these 3 Synchro monsters. Darkin, because he never sees play. Valkyrius, because he never sees play. And Black Rose, because she's amazing. He or she is amazing. 3 Synchros. XYZ's is Zombie Stein. Beatrice, the Lady of the Eternal. I really wish these people weren't cutting grass right now. And then Crazy Box, because he's amazing. Mastroke the Symphony Djinn, because he's really, really broken. I like him a lot. BLs is still legal in this format, so my deck has no way to out BLs. This is like my only way to really get over BLs. I just put them face down and then pop them with Orbital, or Emperor, or Grapha, or Dark Arm Dragon. So yeah, Mastroke helps me to play around things. 1 Shockmaster, because he's off the ban list, we put him at 1. 1 Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, because we put him at 1. 1 Daigusto Emerald, we put him at 2, but I only play 1 because he never really comes up, but he's here because I was like, I want to play Emerald again. I really miss this card. Double Dante, 1 Brave Sword. 1 Zen Mains, and 1 Fortune Tune to sum up the extra deck. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the deck profile. You make Beatrice, obviously you just made Dante, pitch a BA. You play like 4 BA names, so she could come up. That's why I play her, because she could come up. But nonetheless, tell me guys what you think. If you like what we're doing with the Jank format, you know, we're just trying to go back to the roots of Yu-Gi-Oh! If you feel like, oh no, you guys shouldn't have done that, you shouldn't have created your own format, I understand what you're saying, but then again, this is a thing that's between me and my team, and we just wanted to have fun. If you guys enjoyed this, definitely let me know. I hope this inspires you to just build a deck out of scraps. This is just a Fiend deck. It's nothing too unique or special about it. I guess the only thing that would make it special is that it's 100% original, creative, and it's not net deck from anywhere. So yeah, we're just trying to inspire people to just kind of step out their comfort zone and build decks from scraps. Don't buy structure decks. Don't build a deck that Konami made. A deck that Konami made, I can name them. Necros, Burning Abyss, Zodiacs, True Dracos, Pendulum Magicians, ABCs, Trickstars. All those decks are focused on one name, right? Trickstars is an archetype. Anything that's archetype based, you can't make a deck based on that archetype. You can run a few cards from its engine core, but you can't run the entire deck because that was already created by Konami. That's what an archetype is to me. An archetype is just a deck that Konami made and sold to us. What you want to do is just make your own deck. So yeah, God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and you'll be hearing from me soon. Peace.